Okay, guys, this is part 2. This is a script that I'm going to read to you guys. That when I went to the community solution center, they asked me to write a script. So it misdiagnosed what led me, what was the outcome of my experience, and how can we prevent it. Okay. In 1997, I was hearing voices and having hallucinations, and my mother encouraged me to go to the hospital to see a doctor for medication. I went to Woodhall Medical Center. I was assigned to a psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Louis Mungie. I told him what was going on. Immediately, he told me I was a paranoid schizophrenic, and he continued to give me psychiatric medication. I was on every psychiatric medication that Medicaid paid for from 1997 to 2018. And in 2017, I decided to see another psychiatrist within Woodhall. Neither one of the psychiatrists evaluated me. They continued to treat me with psychiatric medication as a schizophrenic. In September 2020, I finally had a proper evaluation, and I was diagnosed with drug-induced psychosis. The outcome of my experience was that in 2010, I told Dr. Mungie that I was a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Dr. Mungie did not make me aware that I should not use drugs and alcohol while taking psychiatric medication. During my treatment, he prescribed a psychiatric medication called Abilify. I was having all kinds of side effects. One of the side effects was causing me not to be able to sleep, so the doctor prescribed a sleeping medication called Ambien to me. Ambien is a narcotic. You can become addicted. All right. In 2010, I was in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I was not able to comprehend because I was on all kinds of heavy psychiatric medication. I decided in 2018 that I was on every psychiatric medication that Medicaid paid for, and none of them was working out. All the medications I was taking, only thing I was experiencing from all the psychiatric medication was side effects. I believe I was only experiencing the side effects because I really didn't need the psychiatric medication. I discovered in 2018, when I started participating in my recovery, reading the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, that drugs and alcohol causes me to hear voices and have hallucinations. And the psychiatrists were treating me as a schizophrenic. In the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, I discovered hundreds and hundreds of years, alcoholics and drug addicts were considered mental patients, and the cure for treatment was getting together and working the program to stop the voices and hallucinations. Psychiatrists have been knowing this for over hundreds of years. Every psychiatrist since the history of psychiatry know that alcohol and drug causes hallucination and voices. This is called drug-induced psychosis. I would like to bring awareness to my community and make it illegal for any psychiatrist to diagnose someone with schizophrenia without a proper evaluation and finding out how the symptoms came up in the individual. Okay. I would like to present to my city councilman to help the African American community bring awareness to, and also I would like to get together with all those who have experienced the same outcome as I have with the psychiatrist, and bring about a class action lawsuit against psychiatrists that diagnose any drug addict, alcoholic with schizophrenic syndromes without an evaluation. So what I would like to do is bring awareness to the community, because this is a big deal, and this is very important to me, because I have a sister that she's on all these psychiatric medications, and she thinks that she needs it, and she can't leave the house. And not only her, is I'm not the only one. It's so many people like me that are taking this medication and thinking that we need it. I remember, I stayed in constant prayer. So I want to tell y'all about one of my experience. I was working for an agency in New York City called Good Temp. Okay, they only hire people with disabilities. So while I was, I'm always, even though I was on all the psychiatric medication, I was always able to fix myself up. So when I went to these assignments that they sent me, they had assignments with city contractors. Okay, so I was working for the sanitation department. I think it was 2009. And the manager in that department, he was sexual harassing me. I mean, he was taking advantage of my mental illness. He was asking me to come in his office and file, the work with no bra on, with my dress off. I didn't know any better. And then he asked me, can he massage my shoulder, come in his office and have lunch. I didn't know any better. I did, but I told him, no, that you cannot massage my shoulder. And then he said, what are you going to do? You're going to sue me? You're going to bring me up on a sexual harassment lawsuit? If you do, I'm just going to get another job. So immediately I reported it to Good Temp, the recruiter, the head recruiter of the agency, and he didn't say anything. I didn't know what to do. So I reported it. I was such in a fog on so much psychiatric medication. That was a lawsuit, and I didn't even bring about a lawsuit. Well, anyway, the recruiter ignored it. So I left the job. Then I was disciplined for like 2 years, and I wasn't able to get, that's what I think, that's what I believe. Then they sent me on another assignment working at the health department in New York City. So the chief of staff, he noticed me. So what he did, I was working in the laboratory. So he took me out of the laboratory and he put me in the office with other people. I felt like I was on a plantation, and he got me off and out the field and put me in the house. Well, anyway, he took me in the office. Then he would come in the office and he would ask the manager, well, can I use Katrina to come upstairs and file some papers? So they said, yeah. So anyway, he would take me to lunch, and we would have drinks. I was getting free lunch and everything. Then one day he took me to a bar. It was a creepy bar, and we had drinks, So and then after we left the bar, he was taking me home, and then he like forcefully kissed me, put his arms around me, and just shoved his tongue down my throat. I didn't know what to do. So I left the job. I didn't tell them, because I thought I was wrong, because I shouldn't have went out to the bar. But anyway, I left the job, and then the agency disciplined me for another 2 years. I was in such a fog. I did not know that you could bring up a lawsuit against sexual harassment. I knew, but I didn't know how to do it, because I was on so much psychiatric medication. Okay, so this is part 2, and I'm going to end this video.